Welcome back. I'm Mattfig. Today I'm going to show you the new setup and show you how everything works, as well as show you some tones and why I'm doing all this. Please stick around. So a few people have asked me, why do you have all those great amps? Well, I'm not Paul Gilbert and I'm not Yngwie Malmsteen, as you've probably seen from my playing. However, I'm somebody who really loves tone. I make a lot of tones for ToneX, Kemper, Quad Cortex, NAMM, Ampero II, and more. Right in this studio. So the way things work is everything goes through this Delisle head right here. So this is my amp switcher and it does all kinds of cool stuff. Basically what it takes first are these 8 amps right here, great amps. So we have 4 Friedmans down here. Okay, so the camera comes down. We have the orange, Soldano, Mesa, and Marshall on this side. And they all tie into the Delisle switcher here, which is a fantastic unit. I think Delisle has more switchers available than any company that I've seen, and their service is top-notch. So I bought this one a couple years ago. It ran into a couple of small issues, very workaround type issues, and I sent it back to them free of charge. They sent it right back. Everything works just flawlessly. So what I have here, 8 amps on a switcher, a shared effects loop. Woo! That's the best thing ever. So in the loop, it's 2 things. It's a decimator, and down here we have the Plethora X5, I think is what it is. X5. That's all I'm using for effects, and when I do captures and those kind of things, I turn the effects and the decimator and all those kind of things off almost all the time. But for now, we're going to use those. So we have the shared effects loop, which is wonderful, and then the attenuator is built into this as well, and a DI output that I'm sending straight to the desk over here. You have, we have 6 cabs here in the room, which is kind of nice and a little bit superfluous perhaps to what most people need. I like to test all sorts of things. I like to change speakers. I like to do all kinds of wacky things. My main recording is 2 cabs in an ISO room. That's what you'll hear in the recordings today. Otherwise, the room would be ridiculously loud and it would wash my microphone out. So that's the treated area is not going to be part of any of these series as far as things go, but the fun stuff in this room all will be. So let's continue. So the signal comes in for today. It's coming in through my trusty Waterstone WWAS. Waterstone makes some great guitars. I was lucky enough to work with them for a number of years. I have 8 of their guitars and they're all fantastic. The signal comes in through there and it's going to go into these boost pedals. Can you see it? Yes. Okay. The boost pedals down here. Right now, none of the boosts are active, and I just have a Vertex boost at the end that's kind of, it's a buffer really. And I have a buffer in the front that I'm not using right now. But that's what you get there. So basically it's going in there into the Delisle switcher. And then I use the switcher to choose the cabs and choose the amp and so on and so forth. And it's a lot of fun and usually pretty productive. Sometimes I'll just switch through amps and lose the whole day, which I would imagine anybody watching this channel might do themselves if they were here. So, all right, we're back. I have my trusty Waterstone here and we're going to flip through. Today what I wanted to show you are 3 of the amps. So we're going to be working with the JEL 50. The Soldano SLO100, and the orange Rockerverb 50. What I'm going to show you today is how I'm using the Synergy system to supplement these amps and make them add an extra channel or 2 of something completely unique. So just to get you familiar with how the effects and everything are working, again, I told you that we have the decimator and everything on, as well as the TC Plethora X5 that's going. So for a little reverb and delay. So that's what you get. Just a little bit of reverb and delay to sell that, the noise suppression, so to speak. And, for full transparency, that's with the noise suppression off. It's not awful. Right now I'm on the JEL on channel 2 with the gain at like 8.5. So this is, this is the gain. Well, so it's not like a ridiculous amount to begin with. However, isn't that better? I think it is. All right, here's the JEL high gain channel 2. So one of the comments that was mentioned about the JEL that I wanted to quickly address, because I hope to do that in this series. You leave me questions, I'll show you the answers as best I can on the channel. They asked if the shared EQ on the JEL was a problem. Now for me, it's really not. So I'll give you that same riff through channel 1, then or through channel 2, and then I'll switch over to channel 1 just so you get an idea. I think it's pretty seamless myself. So all the amps were recently reconfigured and set up here, and they're dialed in kind of for my own personal tastes, which is just for fun right now, really. So they're all going to sound pretty similar. I can tell you that I can make each of them sound identical, or I can make them sound unique. They all have their own things going on. For this particular demonstration, I'd rather show you what the Synergy stuff can do with these amps, even though right now they're going to be dialed in a little bit homogeneous. So here is the JEL with that same riff. Okay, here comes the slow. The slow. All right, and then we'll jump it over. Now we have the Rockerverb. Pretty cool. But what I want to show you now is how unique these things can be with the Synergy system. So right now we are over visiting the Rockerverb. And I don't know if you guys know too much about the Synergy system. I don't want to spend a bunch of time introducing it, so to speak. I think most everybody knows how it works. The Syn1 doesn't do anything but add a channel to the amp, or any amp here. As long as you have an effects loop, you can add 1 or 2 channels from the Synergy. And I say that because I use some Salvation modules, as some of you guys knew me from those days, way back when. Salvation, I have a Jaded Faith one I'm going to show you in a minute, and a Synergy one. But they're all going through a Syn1 unit. It goes into the loop, and you get to keep your loop. You don't lose your effects. As you can hear, that's the Rockerverb. Now, what you're going to hear is the Salvation OR120. That is the difference. And I'm going to stand up in a minute and I'll kick between them, but I want to just kind of give you guys a little bit of a visual. So the Salvation, I'm not going to go through a whole demo on it, but it's a pretty vintagey kind of a sound. It's got the FAC switch, so I can kind of make it darker. Really dark. It's got quite a bit of gain. But I like the vintagey vibe. So now I'm going to kind of stand up and try to do this as seamlessly as possible. So now I'll show you. This is the Salvation. 70s orange vibe. Awesome, right? Again, 1 step on the button and you're back to the Rockerverb. And I still have both channels on the Rockerverb. You got your clean. You got your mean. And now with the Synergy system, you got your 70s rock. All right, so now we're over to the SLO100. Needs no introduction. You know, it does the, it's iconic, right? It does the... It's iconic. It does both Warrens. It does DeMartini and Haynes. So anyway, it's a stupid little thing I always say. All right, even having said that, the SLO does have its limitations, right? I mean, you can't make it a jazz amp. You can't make it certain things unless you have a Syn1. So in this particular case, in the last one, I had a Salvation mod, the OR120, which was that cool 70s orange sound. This one happens to have. Oh wait, I'll do the dramatic thing again. So, and then I'll introduce the module. So here's the SLO. And now I can kick on the Vibe Deluxe from Jaded Faith. So I did do a little trickery on the guitar. I should have mentioned that. I split the coils, but you know, no big deal. So with the coils not split, beautiful clean. I like the coil split for this one because that Jaded Faith Vibe Deluxe has such a cool feel to it. So and you can do that. You can add an Ubershaw. You can add whatever you like into your SLO100. And that's just an amazing thing to me. I think the Synergy systems get a lot of use with power amps, and I think that's fantastic. I have a setup over there that I'll show you guys at another video that has a full power amp and the whole setup, and it's fantastic as that. But I do think that the Synergy units are best used with another amp, with a host amp, so that you get all the glory of the host amp and whatever the Synergy systems bring into the table as well. All right, so we're over to the JEL, and as you know, it's got that sound that we've already done. So for this one, I thought let's add a chimey sound to it. So we'll go from the JEL to a beautiful Morgan AC20. Now, the cool thing about the Synergy modules, and Salvation does it too, and Jaded Faith, they do have dual channels. However, Synergy only does dual channels, and that's kind of nice. The old school MTS stuff that I really still like, and I'll show off more of, I have a bunch of it. It's mostly the single channel stuff, and that's still where my heart was with a lot of that kind of stuff. In any case, the cool thing about these Synergy ones is that they are all dual. So you get the cool little, the clean that I just showed you. And now I can kick it up with a little beef. Because there's two channels, so you can switch between those. So, and you still have two channels on the JEL to work with. So there you have just a little quick tour of what's going on here. Leave some comments. Tell me what you want. I'm going to shoot a bunch of them out together. I'll show you a bunch of the modules. I have some secret, very inexpensive amps that would shock you in how they compare with these amps. I'm going to show you those kind of things too. Please like, please subscribe. It helps. It really does. Thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you guys very soon. Again, all these sounds and more are available at mattfig.com. That's what I do. That's why I have all these amps. That's why I do all this kind of stuff, because I take these tones that I make, just as you hear right now in this video, and you can have them for whatever system you play, whether it's ToneX, NAM, Kemper, Quad Cortex, anything, Ampero II, and more. So please check me out and support the channel, and I'll be back really soon. I hope to see you guys. Bye.